So I'm walking up to my front door. Watch what happens now.
Your door has been unlocked.
So that's proper amazing and space age and stuff, but can it be fooled by a photo? Well, I've got an ollie on a stick to try and help me find that out.
Please step a little closer to the device.
So a big thank you to SwitchBot for sending me their new Lock Ultra to try out. And as you saw, it can unlock your door with your face. There are loads of other tweaks and upgrades compared to the previous version too. So keep watching and I'll show you how to make sure it can't be unlocked using a screw and a coat hanger. This is SwitchBot's third iteration of their smart lock. You might have seen me review the Lock Pro a few months ago, and I've been using that ever since. But there were a few drawbacks to that lock which SwitchBot have improved on this model. If you look at the old Lock Pro and the new Lock Ultra side by side, then the new Lock Ultra is noticeably smaller. My main complaint about the old lock was its size, and that was because it was designed to take regular AA batteries. You could get a double rechargeable battery pack for it, which meant you could charge one pack but keep the lock working using the other one. SwitchBot have abandoned the idea of using regular AA batteries, which means that the lock can be made smaller. They actually include the rechargeable battery with the lock this time, so it's no longer just an optional extra. It slides into place behind a magnetic cover on the front. But what happens when you need to charge that battery? Does that mean you can't use the lock? Well no, it will still work fine because there's a second non-rechargeable long-life CR123 battery hidden behind that cover, which is designed to last for 5 years. So what happens then if you're charging the rechargeable battery but the backup battery has run out? Well, they've thought of that too, and there's a charged capacitor inside to provide you with an emergency unlock if that situation was to ever happen. They've gone and put in a backup for the backup. This sort of thing gets me very excited. Going back to the physical design for a minute though, the new battery system means that the Lock Ultra doesn't stick out as much as the Lock Pro did. This lock is roughly the same height and width though, but because of the rounded corners it looks a lot smaller. You've still got the thumb turn on it and a button in the middle of that which you can customize to lock and unlock it if you want to. The thumb turn has been improved though. They've made it deeper and curved, which makes it a lot easier to grip and use. I still think it needs something sticking out personally. Like, this is something that Danalock had cracked in their design. Now, I had many problems with the Danalock lock, but the one good thing I have to say about it is the sticking out part of the thumb turn made it extremely easy to use, and it's one thing that I had hoped that SwitchBot would add in this version. SwitchBot have made another improvement to the thumb turn too, and it's not a visible one. When you rotate it, it has stopping points, like there's a resistance every few degrees of turn, which means you can lock or unlock the door with a certain number of defined turns. It's a really subtle change, but it's very clever because it creates a muscle memory for how many clicks you need to lock or unlock the door. Installing the Lock Ultra is just as easy as the old Lock Pro. Like before, you have the choice of an adapter that will stick to the door using 3M tape, or you can use an adapter that screws up tight against the lock cylinder, which is the option that I'll be taking. You can also use either your key on the inside of the lock, or if you have a thumb turn lock like I do, then you need to fit one of the special thumb turn adapters that's supplied in the box. So just like with the old lock, you do need to make sure that your lock cylinder can be opened from the outside even when there is a key in the lock on the inside. With the thumb turn lock this isn't a problem, but there are some big brand cylinders out there which only allow a key to be used from one side at a time. There are some really nice finishing touches with the Lock Ultra too. They've included a decorative frame that makes it look like the lock is sitting flush with the door. They also provide 3 wood effect stickers to go over the battery cover, although in my case I'm going to leave it black. And don't forget to install the magnet on the door frame too, so as the lock knows whether the door is open or closed. It's worth noting that the magnet is different to the one that came with the Lock Pro, because this Ultra one supports being placed at different distances from the lock, depending on which way around you install it. Once it's installed, you can use the SwitchBot app to set it up, which is pretty straightforward, so I'll gloss over that for now, because we're about to get to the interesting bit. You can, of course, pair the lock with the Keypad Touch that lets you unlock the door with a PIN number, a fingerprint, or even an NFC card like the SwitchBot Wallet Finder card. But what we're really here for is the facial recognition, isn't it? This is the new Keypad Vision that also supports PIN, NFC cards and fingerprint unlocking. But it also supports 3D facial recognition, a bit like Face ID on iPhones. The idea is you put this outside your front door and the infrared sensor at the top will detect you approaching. The 3D face scanner will kick in and see if it recognises the person. If they are registered in the app, then it can auto unlock the door for you. Because it has to be mounted outside, it comes with a couple of mounting brackets, one of which is narrower and angled so as it can be stuck or bolted to a door frame. It's also powered by a non-removable rechargeable battery which apparently lasts up to 12 months, but you do have to bring the keypad inside to charge, which could be a bit of a pain if you are relying on this regularly. Positioning the keypad is very important for best results. Ideally, you want it positioned at around face height so as the scanner can look straight at you for best results. I had the old keypad a bit lower down and to the side, about 130 centimeters above the ground, and I used one of the screw holes from that to fit the Keypad Vision. That should have been okay according to the user guide, as long as you were within its 76-degree field of view. But I had mixed results with this. It sometimes worked, but quite often it shouted at me to move closer because it couldn't see me.
Please step a little closer to the device.
But when I moved it higher up and at a better angle, it was much more reliable. And just to make sure that it really is using 3D face mapping and not just image recognition, I even made an ollie on a stick to test it out.
Please step a little closer to the device.
For a gadget enthusiast, this is truly a very futuristic and brilliant way to unlock your front door. And even if you don't want to use the facial scanning feature, the Keypad Vision itself is a nice upgrade on the Keypad Touch. The physical buttons on it are actual buttons you can press rather than the membrane buttons on the Keypad Touch. Just like with the Keypad Touch, you can register multiple passcodes for people to use either permanently or just temporarily. You can register multiple fingerprints and NFC cards too, but you can also register multiple faces for it to detect. But there is one improvement I think SwitchBot could make to this keypad, and that is to stop it being so shouty. It really is very bossy. If it detects someone nearby, it will shout at them to stand closer to the device, and it will announce to the world every time the door locks or unlocks.
Your door has been unlocked.
So in the app you can turn the volume down or completely off, but frustratingly what you can't do is turn off just the voice. If you turn off the sounds from the keypad, it's all or nothing. When it's off, you don't get any feedback that you've pressed a button or any sort of feedback that an unlock attempt was successful or not. It would be good to have a beeps only option so that it works a lot more subtly. And speaking of noise, the Lock Ultra itself has a rotation speed option. Now you have a choice of 3 options from high, standard or low. Forget about the middle one, standard, it's totally pointless. In high mode, the lock's motor will turn at full speed to lock or unlock your door as quickly as possible. But in low mode, it'll turn a lot more slowly, and it's also really quiet. It's actually the quietest smart lock I've ever heard. Look, even at full speed, this lock isn't that noisy. Well, no more noisy than any other smart lock I've tried. But in low mode, you can use this late at night and you won't wake anyone up at all. I've actually just left the lock in low speed mode all of the time. It takes a bit longer to operate the lock, but it's like a fraction of a second. If you want the best of both worlds though, you can enable night mode. You can set a schedule and tell the lock to automatically lock at night, and also disable the auto unlock feature during that period too. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you can also tell it to use the low speed option at night and also disable the beeps. And while you are in the lock settings, I suggest you also consider disabling the quick key option for security reasons. It depends on where your lock is installed, of course, but if it's near your letterbox, then you really don't want someone poking something through the letterbox and pressing that button to break in. Yes, that was me breaking into my own house in a matter of seconds using a coat hanger with a screw on the end. I have an early release version, so the final firmware on it might be a bit different when it goes on sale, but I've reached out to SwitchBot and shown them that clip and asked if they could consider disabling the quick key by default and if they can put a warning in the app when it's enabled. They are taking this seriously, and to be honest, this is an issue on a number of other smart lock brands too, such as Nuki. I'll put an update down in the description when I get confirmation back from SwitchBot on this. I disable the button anyway because even on the Lock Pro it was always getting knocked accidentally. You could also install a Letterbox Restrictor like this one from Amazon if you wanted more protection. Onto the all-important Home Assistant integration then, and the Lock Ultra currently supports the cloud integration straight out of the box, provided you have it paired with an appropriate SwitchBot hub. It also works using Matter too, and that is fully local with no cloud connectivity needed. At the time of recording it doesn't work directly using Bluetooth, but I'm sure it will very soon. It's the same every time SwitchBot release a new product, and it usually takes a few weeks for it to be added, so I'm pretty certain that it will be available soon if it's not already by the time that you watch this. If you're interested in one of these locks, then I'll put a link down in the description to where you can get one from. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to see more from me. A massive thank you to my channel members and patrons listed here for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member or a patron, then check out the links down in the description. In return, you'll get early access to my videos and some bonus content too. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.